But you are an optimist. That's something that I've worked with you.
Yeah.
I've worked with you. I know you're an optimist. In those moments where acha nikuseme kidogo kwa your audience.
Okay.
Parents play such an integral role in how a family turns out. Parents. I may not be able to come here and talk about the technicalities of what goes into a family thriving. I'm sure that if you were having this conversation with my dad, they tell you, as a dad, you need to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
So in what ways did your family suppress or express their emotions?
Everyone calls everyone out, respectfully and lovingly. Not always taken in stride, but we always have. You see those hard conversations that build healthy relationships?
Yeah.
You see, we have them. Like, if it's dad who has maybe fallen short somewhere and we all feel like, apana, this isn't gonna fly, this isn't okay, it made me feel this way, or it made me feel that way, we're gonna sit there and say, Dad, so this and this and this and this and this. And my dad, he listens because he says, I can't tell you guys to listen when I have not shown you what listening looks like.
Profound.
Yeah. So how about you? Now that you've told us that the expression, you have answered it, but you've answered it very
vague.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say, like, what I know, someone who comes out of that environment, whereby even like expression of any form of emotion can be misinterpreted or just shut down immediately. I was about to be this person who will just keep things to themselves. I would be this person who was cautious of trying not to, like, I will just sacrifice the way I feel to make sure I don't make you feel a certain type of way. And like, I would say you are part of the people that have been in that space whereby a conflict was never personal. So it gave me, like, it made me comfortable to point out some. I warmly invite you to subscribe to our YouTube podcast, Modern Day Campfire, where we advocate for mental health through a powerful lens of visual arts and meaningful conversation. This platform is a safe space for reflection, expression, and healing. Created with care and authenticity, your support not only spreads the awareness, but also strengthens a growing community that values compassion, creativity, and open dialogue. Join us today in this journey. You are welcome here. Thank you. Hello, wonderful humans. Welcome to our podcast. And today our guest is Winnie Wanjiku. Karibu, Winnie Wanjiku.
Thank you very much, Sandhya. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe most of my viewers are stranger to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you were to introduce yourself today to a stranger, what will you tell them about yourself?
Well, it would depend on what context I'm meeting the stranger in, but since I am meeting your viewers, hi guys, my name is Winnie Wanjiku, as he said. I have very many names. So ukisikia jina ingine uko yenye si hizo mbili, jua niko na jina mingi. I'm Winnie Wanjiku. I am a woman. Something I'm very proud of. I am a woman. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a professional. I'm a creative. Yeah, that pretty much sums up who I am. Okay. At least in a general context.
Okay. Yeah, that is dope. Yeah, they've gotten the idea. Yeah, and with this conversation, you're going to know more about her. But before we start, out of curiosity, what do people get wrong about you?
Oh, something that people get wrong about me.
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah, that's a really good question. I think that different people meet me in different contexts. So let's say someone who's met me in a very professional, serious environment, tukipatana na yeye mahali pengine, can I use Swahili or your audience is?
Most of them are from South Africa, but
I'm
playing. Yeah, you can go for it. Go for it.
But I guess just for the sake of inclusivity, because let me just try and stick to. If I met someone in a very, serious context, and then they meet me somewhere else where I'm just trying to have a good time, they meet a very different person. So most people usually be shocked at the. I would not want to call them switch ups, but if you meet me in a professional environment and then maybe meet me around my loved ones, you'd wonder, is this the same person? So I've experienced that, especially with people who I knew virtually, and then kuja wapatane na mimi in person. They assume maybe I'm very outgoing and talkative, and then you meet me in person and I'm somewhat reserved and quiet, and it's usually like, Mom, I thought you were an extrovert, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm an ambivert who leans more towards extroversion, and I feel like that's something that huwa inashtua watu hawajanizoea vizuri. Yeah.
And I'm sure there is a person who is hearing the term ambivert for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like me to
kindly?
Okay, an ambivert is someone that falls between an extrovert and an introvert. They have extroverted tendencies and introverted tendencies. So I have more introverted tendencies. I'm an extrovert on need basis because I'm also choleric. I do not want to get into temperaments. Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm extroverted on need basis. But normally I enjoy my own company. I like being indoors. I like doing introvert stuff. My introverts, where you at? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that again.
Thank you.
And I'm very grateful to be here with you.
I'm very grateful to be hosted by you.
Okay, thank you. So today we are going to talk about a topic that it's gonna be about the family blueprint behind adult behavior. And maybe to any audience or any viewer who is joining us at the moment, what would you like to tell them, or what reason will you give them to just keep watching until the end of the session? What can you promise them to get at the end of the session?
Let me even face them for this. Oh my god, guys. First of all, we are about to delve into something very core and profound to every human existence, and I feel like that's something that we all ought to think about at one stage or another in our lives. And I feel like the things that we're gonna delve into are gonna offer every single person in this audience insight. If you will not get out of this place without having picked something. If you do, I'm gonna leave my number. But I am sure that everyone's gonna gain something, and we're all gonna have a really good time. It's gonna be hata sisi Zambia, an experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn a lot. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Winnie Wanjiku.
Yes.
Family. How do you define, or what is your definition on family based on your upbringing? And the follow-up question is, how has that definition changed over time?
Okay. How do I define family? I think my definition of family for a very long time has just been something very fixed, very simple, very straightforward. My family, my dad, my mom, my sisters, right? That's my family. But then I've grown up and I have met people who became friends, who then became family. Because I feel like, what is family really? Now, to my new definition. I'd go to great lengths for these people. They've gone to great lengths for me, right? To shop for each other. We create a safe space for one another. We protect each other. And the same feeling that I get at home is the feeling that I get around these people. So what is to say that they are not my family, right? So I suppose my definition of family has evolved. Yeah, and now it's where you find depth and connection, where you find safety, where you find love in all its entities. That's family to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally I totally agree. Yeah, and I resonate with what you've said. And how did love look to you in your household?
Mm. Love. You know, when I think about the term love, a person comes to my mind, right? And it's not that I haven't known love from anyone else other than this person, but when I think about love, the person that comes to my mind is my dad, my father. I feel like my father is the epitome of what love looks like, what love feels like, what love shows up as. He's an embodiment of it. So how did I experience? What was the question?
In your household, like how did you experience
How
love in
did
your
I?
house, in your
Okay.
household?
I'm from a very tight knit, easy household, right? So love looks like my sister bringing me breakfast in bed because I'm just not in the mood today to come out. Love looks like my dad coming to check up on me every morning. Love looks like my mom telling me I look amazing when I'm going out. Love looks like knowing that these are people who you have to hold you down for a lifetime. That's what my family feels like when I'm at home. I feel loved. I know I'll always have these people in my corner. They understand me. We have our little quarrels here and there, but love, like, oh my God, I'm always talking about my family. Anyone who knows me knows how much I talk about my family because love, I love those people so, so much, right? So love looks like the simple things, the everyday things. And those everyday things have been happening for all 20 something years of my life, right? So that's what love looks like in my home. Simple things, you know.
Okay.
I've just mentioned the things that they do for me. Just as zenye mi huwa nafanya, but it's very reciprocal.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone in my family pours into each other.
And how does that experience shaped your expectation of love today, maybe now outside the family?
Oh, okay. I think that for the longest time, I always just only knew what love is, and I didn't know what love isn't, right? So, walking into the world, you experience people, different people, all sorts of people, whether that be friends who are good or mediocre or bad, or partners who are good, mediocre, or bad, and you experience people who and things that show you what love is not, right? So how that experience of my home has shaped how I look at love in other aspects of my life outside of my family, I would say I know what love looks like. So when I meet something that isn't that, and that brings into my system a feeling that, you know, is opposite to that. I'm trying to find a word better than opposite, but yeah, mom, like that's not for me because I want to exist in love. I don't want it to just end at this is where my family is at. So I've experienced love with my family now. Okay, I'm getting into the world. I can accept any other thing. No, that bar has been set there. This is love, and I want to continue that. I want to propagate that in the spaces that I walk into, in the lives of the people I walk into, right? So, yeah, my family has really, sijui niseme aje. Okay, I really love words, but it has really shaped how I walk into life and how I interact with people, knowing the people who have love in them and the people who are looking for love and the people who feel some certain negative type of way about love, knowing what spaces I want to exist in, what's this is like, I don't want to do this in. It's very,
Okay.
and it's not all rosy. I think I'm talking a lot about the rosy. Mm, I think that I have had outside of my family really weird and hurtful and bad experiences with love, because I think also growing up in a very healthy home, um where unatokanga sengine with a lot of naivety, and because you've only known love and seen love, your brain isn't wired to know that sometimes the world isn't gonna meet you with that, so you walk through life with some subconscious naivety. And so that made me lose skeptic not lose, because I don't think I had skepticism. That's something I've come to develop with growth.
Okay.
But I walked through life without a lot of skepticism. So I have found myself walking into. Um, I think my mom's gonna watch this, so I don't know that I should say relationships.
Okay.
But what other term can we use? Everything, all the people we interact with, professionally, maybe these are all relationships. Yeah. So generally, I'm just gonna generalize it. With very toxic. I don't like to name people toxic.
Toxic.
Actually, no, I'm not gonna say toxic people, but into very toxic situations with people who do not, who have not experienced love the way that I have, and hence the way that they express it and show up for it is different in a manner that is detrimental to both them and the people they interact with, which, well, at the time was me. Yeah, so it has shaped my view on love outside the family, like that, like that.
Yeah, that is profound. And you mentioned something interesting on toxic people and toxic relationship or situations. Why do you feel like we don't have toxic people, but there there is an existence of toxic situations? Like why the twist? Like kuna those people who believe like we do have toxic people. So why don't you believe we have toxic people?
That would be because when first a super empath. Let's start there. Yeah. I believe that we are all a sum of our experiences, right? We are a sum of our experiences. So, with the exception of the few, like Ted Bundy and the likes, I don't think anyone is born with evil in them, right? So experiences shape us. And so if I were to label someone as toxic, that would be maybe just like, throwing throwing labels. I don't like throwing labels, especially on people, right? Because I think that in as much as we should be accountable for our behavior and try to do and be better, I don't feel like personally it is fair for me to label people and put them in boxes because they are a certain type of way. Because again, this is just me. Their experiences brought them to that place, right? This is not to say that we should walk through life making excuses for people, and it is also not to say that we should only view people with a lens of, oh, people are just the sum of their experiences, so we get complacent with ourselves with that excuse at the back of our heads, though. But yeah, I do not like labeling people as toxic. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy you view it that way. Me too, for some reasons. This is like I just want to share an example based maybe on a romantic relationship. Okay, so I am Martin and I am going to interact with two ladies, Lady A and Lady B.
I'm there, promiscuity.
I'm going to interact with two ladies, Lady A and Lady B.
Lady B.
Lady, okay. So, so in your story, I'm not interested in Lady B. I am interested in Lady A.
You're not interested in Lady B? She'd be offended, sorry. Proceed.
Yeah, so I'm not interested in Lady B, I'm interested in Lady A. The fact that I am interested in Lady A, I am going to show up differently compared to the way I'm going to show up on Lady B. So maybe there will be a lot of attention here, and there will be a lot of maybe dismissing here. Yeah, maybe there will be that. In this case, if Lady B is way more interested in me, most probably they can term me as a toxic person because I wouldn't be showing up the way they want me to show up in their life. So maybe they will be texting me. Maybe I'll respond, but not like it wouldn't be in an aspect of building a conversation compared to what I will do to Lady A. When Lady A texts, I will text in a way that builds a conversation. Here it will just be maybe answering the question or just being kind, but not going beyond there. Exactly. So I'm still one person, but the way because someone is being ignored here, though, when you look at, in many cases, when someone is calling someone a toxic person, you find out the person who's being called a toxic person is not showing up in the relationship as this person wanted them to. So in this case, unapata here we just have a toxic relationship because it is just detriment. Maybe you are pushing me to show up the way I don't want to, or I'm just not showing up the way the way I don't want to. So kuna a lot of hearts in here, maybe one-sided. So this is a toxic relationship. But if things are mutual on this side, we can consider it as a healthy relationship. But Martin is in both sides. Yeah. So Pia, for that reason, your reason was dope. Just an addition, Pia. For that reason, I feel like we don't have toxic people. If we have healthy boundaries and we just get to, because boundaries are out here to protect us. So if I have I'm very aware of my boundaries, you'll notice that we don't have toxic people. We just have toxic relationships and situations. Yeah.
Oh, that painted a very vivid picture in my head. And I do not want us to digress,
Okay.
but I do want to say something about that.
Please do.
If a person is not interested in another person and they see that they cannot show up fully and intentionally for that person, let them go. This stringing along thing, man, it pisses me off, right? Because that situation, that's what it's giving. This person is interested, so they're pouring here, and they are depriving this other person of affection and attention and all these things that people need for connection. To what end? If you know you are not as invested or as interested in this person, just let them know that, man, it will hurt for a few days. Trust me, people move on. So stringing along is wrong, guys. I hope no one in somebody's audience is doing that. It's so wrong.
Okay.
It's so wrong, and you're not gonna go anywhere with someone who's stringing along.
Yeah. Okay, so I can create a healthy relationship by communicating.
Yes.
By communicating directly.
Yeah.
But yeah. That is an I didn't look at it that way. You may notice, yeah, this guy is toxic for some reason. Yeah, ukileta aspect ya string. Yeah. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah. Yeah, if you communicate. Yeah, we just pray Pia they be mature enough to take it on our. Yeah. Okay, that is well put. Okay, back to the family.
Okay. Yeah.
So in what ways did your family suppress or express their emotions?
Oh my God. Oh, we are a family of emotional people. Not emotional in like an uncontrolled, weird, explosive sense, but emotional in the sense that emotions are very valued in my home. Right? Everyone's emotions ziko valued from my dad to my smallest sisters. And I say from my dad because I know there's this whole thing about sijui men sijui waseme vitu zenye wanasikia wawe msifundishe wavulana wenu hivyo. But emotions have been we have like I'm gonna paint an image.
Okay.
There is like a room, not an actual room. This is a metaphor. Yeah, there's like a room with cushions, cushions all over kila mahali. So if someone comes and they have emotions, wherever they throw the emotions, they're not gonna meet anything hard, right? We try to we try to listen to each other. And I'm not saying it's seamless because let me tell you guys, in as much as I'm talking about my home being this safe haven, we have moments we are all human, right? So we have our very heated to arguments, kila mtu anataka opinion yake isikike. Kwanza me and my youngest sister, oh, yeah, we're both fire signs, so we're both very fiery people. Our dad is also very fiery. My sister mwenye amenifuata and my mom ndio wala watu wanakuwaga tu go with the flow, ukiiva na mmesema they'll have an opinion when there is really a need to. But emotions at home, we respect each other's emotions. And in the times that we find ourselves not doing that, because we will fall short, we are humans, right? In the times that we feel like we haven't done that, we go back, we circle back. And I think this has a lot to do with how much our parents have put in kwanza ni with regard to sasa kwanza sisi kama sisters. We are sisters, we are three girls.
Okay.
Yes, three girls. I'm the first one. We talk about our stuff.
No boys.
No boys.
Okay.
No boys. Baba yetu ni proper daddy's girl.
Okay.
Girl dad. Sisi ndio daddy's girls.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. We talk about our emotions. Sometimes they are intense. And sometimes, emotions are emotions. Sometimes they'll just spiral out of control and everyone will be throwing fire. But at the end of the day, like at the back of our heads, we know that we're gonna come back to each other. And come on, validation, we're gonna validate each other. We're gonna draw back respect into those situations and we talk about issues. We really talk about issues and everyone calls everyone out respectfully and lovingly. Not always taken in stride, but we always have, you see, those hard conversations that build healthy relationships.
Yeah.
You see, we have them on. Like, if it's, say, if it's dad who has maybe fallen short somewhere and we all feel like apana, this isn't gonna fly, this isn't okay, it made me feel this way, or it made me feel that way, we're gonna sit there and say, Dad, so this and this and this and this and this. And my dad, he listens. He listens because he says, I can't tell you guys to listen when I have not shown you what listening looks like.
Profound.
Yeah. So he listens to us. And I have seen every member of my family evolve as a person because of those things that we tell each other. Like for example, I'm gonna give a not very personal example, and my dad, because I know he doesn't really get offended, alikuwa na tabia ka kushout. Like kama if we are in like, acha nipene an easy example, like a supermarket, and you do something off, some very off behavior, be like, acha.
Yeah.
And we are sensitive. So, we sat him down, we were like, no, siyataki kushotiwa. And we've seen him grow out of that habit. And that's a habit he really had, right? So these conversations that we have where we tell someone, hapa, hapana. They shape us and we're able to show up very healthily emotion-wise. And I think that the people that we learn that from are our parents, in as much as wazazi kuna vitu zao zenye hata hatutawahi jua ni nini, but we see how they handle themselves around each other, how they handle us, how they tell us to handle each other, how they handle the issues we bring to them about ourselves. It's a very safe space emotionally. And that has taken a lot of nurturing from literally everyone. Everyone is a team player. We are a team. My dad always tells us, he says, guys, I know you guys are friends, lives out of this place, but this is always gonna be your core team. We are a team. So with that in mind, we move knowing that this is something we have to preserve our family, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Samia.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one you asked me and that I'd like to throw back your
Okay.
way. Actually nilikutext na hukuniambia, so
For
sasa
real?
utaniambia mbele ya watu. Guys, I asked a question, but now I'm gonna ask it differently. The question you asked me about what love looks like in my home.
Okay.
Yeah. How does love look like in your home?
I it's hidden. Like
What does that mean?
like
Yeah.
they don't show it publicly, even like directly to you.
Yeah.
Like kuna a lot of hiding, like yani it's not direct to a point. Telling for me, us using that word, I started using that word with my brother like 2 years back. Now that is via the phone. We were talking a lot, and then I'll tell him like good night. So like good night ilianza ku break that ice. Then after sometimes now it was like we love you bro, we love you, we love you, and then I love you. It took time. The first time I told my mom I love her, ilikuwa the first time I was coming to Nairobi now to join campus after my form 4. That was the first time I told her I love her. And I've never used like we've never used that word, but we use it with action. Yeah, it was action based. So to a point, for some reasons, I would say there was a form of suppressing that love. Yeah, so I admire
Suppressing the love or the expression
or
of it verbally.
the verbal expression of it. So there was a lot of verbal suppressing of verbal expression of it. But we will get one another's gift. Maybe I will show up for my sister in a certain type of way. When things like complimenting, it was different. But even for complimenting, it was a struggle kidogo. Yeah, like it wasn't that for you to get that direct compliment. Man, it took a lot.
Wow.
It took a lot. Yeah, and for that reason, I feel like I wouldn't say it may affect or point like that is what I'm compounding out there, but it may, when I came to that world and maybe I experienced that in a romantic relationship where like they are farming, though with them I notice how important it is. So maybe the way I can tell my mom I love them, it's by just trying to call them on a daily basis. Yeah. So imekuwa action based, but I would say for your family kuna a lot of consciousness. Even I wanted to ask you, I hope I've answered that before I asked you
I
this.
think you have.
I have. Oh, thank you. So I wanted to ask you, maybe to a viewer who is watching this and he or she is really, really dying. Maybe they come from my household, now they're dying to start something like yours. So the first question is like, do you like consciously do it? Like, do you have like a routine of maybe the checkups, the check-ins, or until maybe these things happen now, you come and sit down and solve it? Like, how do you approach it?
I think these things are just attribute them to my parents again. Because me, I don't feel like it's robotic. We have a schedule for it, some structure. This is something we have to do. We have to gather at the dinner table, or we know. It just comes because that's how we've been tumelelewa hivyo. You see how venye mtu anaweza kuja kwambia tumelelewa hivyo. This is all I know, man. This is all I know. I know that if my sister is in bed and she wants me to fetch her a glass of water juu niko chini, I'ma do it. No complaints or nothing, shika. Or maybe I'll throw in a complaint or two in there. But my dad coming in the morning, it's something that he's done for as long as I have known my dad. So I feel like at the end of it all, it's parents. Parents play such an integral role in how a family turns out. Parents. I may not be able to come here and talk about the technicalities of what goes into a family thriving. I'm sure that if you were having this conversation with my dad, they tell you, as a dad, you need to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, for your family to be this, and this, and this, and this. My mom would probably have her own insights. Actually, she would have her own insights on, for you to be a mom, a good mom, you need to do this and this, you can't do this and this and this. And I think this is part of why we're talking about what we're talking about.
Yes.
To understand how parenting, right, plays into parenting and just the family dynamic. Yes, we talked about the family blueprint. Uh, um, it all just comes down to the choice of, well, first of all, a life partner. Oh my god, that's there's a billionaire I was listening to, very old, I think he's 96, rich, really rich dude, and he was talking about his wife, actually. And he was saying the most important decision or choice you'll ever make in this lifetime is the choice of a life partner. And I think that in some way our generation wants to trivialize that and decenter that and make it look like, oh, yours G, you work on everything else, that's gonna come when it's gonna come, whatever. Like, I don't think that's a choice we can treat with any level of ignorance or complacence, because, oh my god, I talk about my parents the way that I talk about them. They know the amount of work they've put in to give us the home that they've given us. I want that for my children. And I feel like that type of thinking is what is gonna heal us as a generation. Because I speak about my family, and that's just my family. But there are so many other families that surround me and are close to me, right? And some of them are phenomenal. I'm like, wow, you guys, man, wow, I can't wish to be you. I'm very happy where I'm at, but wow. And then I've also seen and be gotten really, really hurt by seeing what other family experiences look like, because, well, either two people chose each other wrong and couldn't make that thing work the way it's supposed to work, or they got complacent along the way, or just stuff that goes into the intentionality and feeling and understanding the weight of parenthood. I really feel very, very strongly about the family unit. And this is something I'm very passionate about. And uh, I feel like a lot of people our age are now just getting into the headspace of what is healing, what does healing look like. We have conversations online along those lines, and I really like that for our generation. I feel like those aren't conversations that our parents had or their parents before them had. And we see a lot of damage in the product of what they've raised with that generation and part of our generation. I don't know if do you agree with me?
I do agree with you.
Right.
Even this conversation we are having here, it's an evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an evidence, because back then, like, who are we to talk about families?
Yeah.
Back then, like, even definition of a real job. But we value this. That's why we are creating time for this. So it is evidently, I totally agree with you.
Exactly. So I feel like in our quest to create better, for ourselves and those that will come after us, meaning our children, their children. I feel like there is a lot of learning that needs to be happening. A lot of learning, a lot of unlearning, a lot of, well, maybe not relearning, but a lot of unlearning and learning that needs to happen us with us, because I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah.
You know, in Mbonga, you cannot teach. I will not use those words because those are our parents. But yeah, with us, there is a lot that we are in a position to do to ensure that the cycles are breaking and that one day our children can come to places like this and say what I'm saying about my family. You know, I don't mean this to sound conceited or nimefura kichwa because I've had a good experience with family and I understand that well, not understand from a personal point, but understand that there is pain in maybe family not being family or family having thorns in its flesh. I just want us to be a generation that changes that for those that come after us. That is very important for me as a person, as an individual. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. And before I like this, thank you for asking me that question, the one that you asked, because as I was listening, I noticed it's really like something like excitement. Like for some reason we had like to suppress it because it was it was depicted as being naughty.
What? Excitement?
When you're very excited, alafu you do a mistake of maybe you're so excited now. There was a time like I remember I was very excited and I was given a plate of ugali to take it to the table from the kitchen. So I was just excited all through. So at this time when I'm taking this plate of ugali, taking there, I guess I dropped it.
What were you excited about?
I guess I was watching something and I don't know where it came, but I was genuinely excited. Yeah, so that was considered as being naughty. I don't know kama naughty is the right, but yeah, like yani you're just being spongy. Like yani it was inappropriate.
Angusha yote.
Yeah, angusha yote, and I think I got a slap. Yeah, I got a slap.
Oh my god.
I got a slap.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like even if singi angusha ugali, still like that excitement was somehow inappropriate, and for some reason it really maybe affected the way I'm showing up. You know, maybe kuna a lot of unlearning I've done. Maybe for me, maybe to be confident.
Yeah, you're a person who really does work on himself.
Yeah. So for you, how has it affected the way you are showing up?
What?
The way maybe the family suppressed or expressed the household, the way your household express or suppress the emotions. How has it affected you? How you show up today? Now in different world, maybe as a romantic partner or work or school or friendship.
Well, Zamani. Don't be under the illusion that because nimekwambia ati sijui we love each other and we talk through stuff sijatandikwa. Mi nimetandikwa. To be disciplined, I have been disciplined. Proper. My parents really believe in discipline. But that's another story. How that dynamic has helped shaped how I show up to different arenas of my life. I think I have a very strong sense of self.
Okay.
Yes, I have a very strong sense of self, man. Like that is
strong sense of self.
Yes. Strong sense of self. Would you like me to elaborate on what that means?
Kindly.
Okay. Well, first of all, expression was never suppressed. Like, we are allowed to say what we want to say. As long as it is respectful, we are allowed to say what we want to say. So, being able to express yourself and doing that consistently over a very long period of time lets you discover yourself freely. Yes, it lets you unravel in a manner that's not constricted, right? Seeing that and now being having your the person and the things that you're expressing being reflected back to you in the form of validation. We have been validated so much, so much. Oh my god, we mtu akiona baba yangu mahali, please get him something. Mama yangu, get her something. So we validation from parents and even the little things. I've drawn something very dumb. Saying naangalianga my drawings when I was a child and I was like, mbona mlikuwa mnani compliment? This is stupid. But they'd be like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. Nini, nini, nini. So those things have enabled me to, because now I express and then now they mirror what they think the value of that is. So my sense of self means, who do I think I am? What do I think I have to offer? You know, right? I'd pass a test. You know, my dad would congratulate me, or at times there's this time he surprised me. He like threw a surprise birthday party for me because nilipita my mocks class 8.
And it like, was your birthday.
Yeah, so okay. I thought at how he never forgets. Oh my god. Okay, he always forgets the day. But he never misses our birthdays ever. So that day I thought amesahau, but he threw something I did not expect him to throw. So the congratulations, and now it's like, okay, so my parents say I'm smart. My parents say I'm beautiful. My parents think this art is good. My parents say my writing is amazing. My parents say I'm eloquent. My parents say I'm confident. Our parents play such an integral role. My God, because who else is gonna tell you those things, man? So my sense of self ilikuwa sealed after, you know, sasa nimekuwa mkubwa and all these things have been put in my head, and now like I can rationalize them and say, by the way, yeah, actually I'm smart. By the way, yeah, actually I write well. By the way, yeah, I'm actually pretty eloquent. No, but I wouldn't have those in my head if they didn't nurture those ideas in me by the little compliments. So I walk into the world with a very solid sense of self. That means that I don't, okay, in professional spaces, I think that I exude modest confidence, if that's a thing, if I can call it that, because I don't think I'm considerably confident. I'm just confident. You know? Yeah, that makes the people that I work with confident in my abilities. If I say, yeah, I think this is something I can do and do well, a person will buy into that. And because also I've been raised to believe in excellence and da da da. I mean, it all just comes back to the nurturing one. So yeah, excellence in my romantic relationships. Naongea kama ni mingi, oh my god. But I'm not like that, guys. I think that now that I just reflect the love I've always known. Yeah, anyone I have loved knows that I love. Love, whatever love looks like, the way that I've known it, I reflect that onto them. That's the relationship. Because we've expressed love at home, I know how love is supposed to be expressed, I know what goes into loving someone. And so I give them that. And my friendships too, you know, whether it's intentionality, consistency, this is what I'm saying here, this is what I'm pouring here. So that dynamic has made me show up in those avenues like that in my social life. Yo, niko na social life, guys. Ambivert introversion. I have a bit of a social life. I'm able to walk with ease. It's very rare for you to find me nikiwa self-conscious. Yeah, that's how that has shaped me, the person you're interacting with right now. Yeah. How about you? Now that you've told us that the expression oh no, you have answered it, but you've answered it very
vague.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say like what I know, someone who comes out of that environment whereby even like expression of any form of emotion can be misinterpreted or just shut down immediately. A lot of excitement ni like being naughty, being too being too much sad inaweza kuwa ni being pretense or weakness or something like that. So like I was about to be this person who will just keep things to themselves. I would be this person who was cautious of trying not to, like I will just sacrifice the way I feel to make sure I don't make you feel a certain type of way. So if maybe like I will just suppress a lot of things. Like I wouldn't be even confident enough to correct someone. That is who I was becoming. But I feel like doing the unlearning that I talked about imefanya nikaanza kunotice pia the effect of that, like okay, now people don't, because this is something I experienced with my sister. I like there was a time she would change, and maybe before she goes somewhere, and then she will confirm maybe how she has dressed with me. So she would ask me maybe something like, is this top or is this okay? So because on like I used to, like I was just okay with anything, like I mean it doesn't matter, unakaa fiti, unakaa fiti, unakaa fiti. So it reached a point like oh now I have a twin sister. So what? Yeah.
Anakaa kama wewe. Oh my god.
Yeah, I do have a twin sister. So for her, I don't know how it ilikuwa opposite. For her, she's very upfront with truth, and like she will point it out. Atamwambia no, this orange shirt inakaa hivi na hivi, you better wear the black shirt for this reason and this reason. So it reached a point that my elder sister wasn't asking me because I was like more of a people pleaser, you know, and it hit me like, oh, okay, kumbe this thing is killing trust also. Yeah, to a point now, like even when I'm happy with you, you can doubt it. Yeah, you can like, am I just trying to make you feel good also, or genuinely? Because now for my sister, when now she's happy with you, you believe it, because when she's mad, she will be atakwambia exactly umenibo. So that is what it was turning me into. Yeah, but with that experience, it kind of created a paradigm shift, which with time also there has been some changes, and I feel like I'm still struggling with people pleasing for some reason. Yeah, like it is something that confirming it. Like I'm this person who is like I'm so okay with many things because I believe I will be okay with that. So I feel like you should be okay with it for some reasons. So I feel like that is something that it's something I'm unraveling it now, and I'm gonna work on that. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
To what extent or to what degree do you feel like your home dynamic has shaped who you are? I know that question sounds very similar to what we've been asking.
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm asking to what degree?
To what degree?
Yes.
For who I am today?
Yes.
Like it's funny. I'm just this, like I'm so new to like like this person is very new to my mom. Like he's a stranger.
I'd like to think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is like I am a stranger because after unaona joining campus, I got a certain form of freedom. Like I was in a different world alone. I make decisions on my own, and I got to learn a lot about myself. And I really, really wanted to put myself out there, and I kind of came to notice, like I would say, I don't know if I should consider myself as an extro, but I believe like for some reasons, being in that environment, it kind of suppressed that. So when I'm coming out and I just want to dance, I want to act, I want to be out there, I was turning out to be a stranger. Like even the people I went to with in high school with, yeah, for some reasons, like I am a stranger to them. They don't know, they didn't know I could draw. It was very surprising. Now, like I could hold something like a podcast. It is something like it is a different personality, and kumekuwa na a lot of unlearning. So like for some reasons, like I've turned out to be like I've turned out the opposite of what it would have. The direction I was, the direction that I was going. Like I know where, I know, like when you ask that the 12th degree, like I know that 100%, but kumekuwa na a lot of working to change the direction. Like at the moment nazaanza kusema now it's been lessening now to who I am today. My upbringing inaweza kuwa 20% of who I am, but kuna things like I would say, kuna things like being skeptic. That was something that has never been in me, and it was never in our family. Like we all believe in this win-win situation, and like like the way my mom showed up on my things, kuna this level of trust, of like I don't have to do something to you. Kuna that, I will say, unconditional, kuna that aspect of unconditional stuff, and that is something that maybe I'm so proud of, because like it, like I'm not skeptic. Like unakitaka kunigonga leo, like you will, like not, like in terms of maybe conning me and stuff. Like you will like you can convince me on many things, as maybe the experience, and maybe nisha experience, maybe I'll be curious kidogo. But I was this person venye nilikuwa natoka kwa that environment, you people pleasing and everything, pia the urge to be accepted ilifanya nika fall into a lot of holes, which was a bad thing. But pia like the way I showed up, nili showed up unconditionally to other people, to a point that it kind of served the relationship I'm having with them. Now, like now I'm a different person. They'll compliment me for something that I was then, and for some reasons that was a good thing. But honestly speaking, who I am today and who I am growing to be, it's kind of a twist of my upbringing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That took intentional work from you, and you going back and realizing the day, okay, hii kitu na hii kitu na hii kitu niko hivi because of this and this and this. I don't want that anymore for myself. So there was a lot of intention going into that, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of intentionality. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's a beautiful journey. So it is possible, and we should not give the excuse of our childhood to show up as meager versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
If you've done the work, I think it's doable.
Yeah.
And I've seen people do work. I've seen people do work. Hata mimi hivi vitu zangu, I think I've done work.
Yeah.
Kama unaona venye umesema that thing you said about not being very skeptical of people, and but you are an optimist. That's something I've walked with you.
Yeah.
I've walked with you. I know you're an optimist. In those moments where acha nikuseme kidogo kwa your audience.
Okay.
So we'd have situations where we see crisis. We see crisis, and we know by then this is crisis. Somebody would be there like, don't worry guys, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna talk to them. They're gonna, and it played its role because it also like maybe eased tension where all of us are tense and trying to look for solutions. So somebody's like, guys, chill. Everything is gonna be fine. Sometimes it used to annoy me. Because I'm choleric. I'm like, Samia, if you're gonna tell us things are gonna be fine, tell us how they're gonna be fine. And somebody's just like, y'all just need to chill, man. It's all gonna be okay. You're an optimist. And I don't think that's entirely a bad thing. And I don't think that that's entirely gone. As I learn in
Okay.
and it's not entirely a bad thing. Yeah, that is the question I had for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I guess we have answered your question.
You have fully.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is, how did your caregiver handle conflict?
With me or with themselves or?
Like in any aspect you are engaged in, maybe it could be with them, with themselves, or sometimes with you. Yeah. Even the workers maybe in the house. Yeah.
You don't have conflict with people you work with, but how my parents handle conflict with one maturity. Yes, especially with when it comes to us, I have felt a lot of course, you see, my parents met when they were young, not too young ati nini. Mi nilipatikana wakiwa in their 27 to 28, hao si watoto sindio, but hao wenyewe walipatana wakiwa very young. So I've seen their conflict handling strategies evolve as because me, I've known them for 20 something years, man, almost as long as they've known each other. Give or take. There's like there's like a 7 year gap hapo sikuwa nawajua. But for as long as I've known them, I've seen a lot of growth with how they handle their own conflict, at least the one that we get to see, and how they handle conflict with us. So I wouldn't say it was always a walk in the park. Like kuna times zenye our parents were young parents, right? Their conflict was, well, young parent conflict. Whatever that looks like. I think just love is the thing that anchored those moments of conflict. Then because I wouldn't say the conflict resolution methods were that evolved then, right? Right now I am seeing a lot of maturity, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of maturity and self-reflection basically covers it, because my dad kitambo alikuwa ule mtu wa, if there's a lot of conflict, like if he feels like everyone is blowing everything out of proportions, he's in a room, he's in a house full of women, he's the only man. He's gonna say, guys, he's gonna walk out, come back, and we'll talk about it when things are a bit more calm. But that was his, atatoka hasira zikiwa juu, atoke, watu washuke hasira, arudi, watu ongele nini inaendelea. Over time that has changed to instantaneous emotional regulation by everyone. And let me talk about them. Acha nijitoe mimi na watu na sisters zangu hapo. Let me talk about the little of their conflict that I have seen. Juu tunaangalianga wazazi ni wakibishana wanafanya nini, but they're fighting, what are they doing? We really watch and we observe as children. Yet all kunaangalia your caregivers and how so you watch. And maybe in the watching, I can just say I've seen a lot of growth and evolution, and hence why I say, God, please, like if I'm gonna get into a marriage, I want it to be someone who's very open to growth and very malleable and very very in love, because when those are the things can't give strength, love will, right? But I've seen them handle conflict with maturity, and that's also how I'm trying to handle conflict in my personal life, because I'm like, this person can feel anger in that moment, swallow that anger, view the situation objectively, and address their concerns in a manner that is kind and compassionate to the other person. Let me try that. It's very hard. But that's how they handle conflict. Those are very mature people. Okay. Sambia siku moja niambie nikuletea hapa msidani na waambia stories za Java guys.
Tutafanya vlog in their house for 2 weeks. We just observe, camera hidden, alafu
mseme ati shukwa alikuja hapa kutuambia stories za Java. But conflict is handled like that.
Okay.
Why that question?
Because like I'm just curious to see how you in your personal level, like I just wanted to see like what has influenced the way you handle tension.
Have you seen me handle tension?
Or disagreement? Yeah, I have seen you handling disagreement. And
where was that?
After like those debrief during facilitations. Okay. Yeah. Something, and there was sometimes a lot of tension there, but I would say you are someone who is upfront. You're very upfront.
What does that mean?
Oh, like yani you head on, like like let's take care of it right now. And this is another thing that like I don't know, because it was the environment of TLX, but this is something I took from you. Like it was never personal. Like yeah, like you don't, like okay, like when it comes to disagreement, it is never personal to you. So for that reason, it kind of gave me confidence also. And like I would say you are part of the people that have been in that space whereby a conflict was never personal. So it gave me like, it made me comfortable to point out some stuff, because I felt like here, when I point them out, it's gonna be a solution. We are going to solve problem. Unlike the environment that majorly I was, it was like maybe it was personal now. It was any disagreement, it is now I'm coming against you. I have problem with you. So to a point now, I will decide now.
That's very barren for growth.
Yeah, let me just keep it to myself, though I don't hurt you or anything. Yeah. So kulikuwa na perspective shift after being in environment around people like you. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
So that is how I would say the way she handles conflict. A keyword is it was never personal. It was never personal.
As it shouldn't be.
As it shouldn't be. Yeah. Okay, so how has that, okay, now that was my testimony. On a personal level, how do you feel it has influenced how you handle tension and disagreement?
Okay. Mi kwanza tuanzie tu hapa venye tu nimesema, I don't take criticism personally unless it is made personal, as in disrespectful. But if someone comes up to me and they're like, hi Angel, hi, so Angel, introduce kama Winnie, that's my other name, guys.
Angel.
So if someone comes up to
Your
me,
name is
like,
Angel. After staying with you like over a year.
I'm doing. No, I think, guy, I'm so sorry. I think just different environment.
No,
different
does
things.
Jennifer know this?
Yeah, I think Jennifer knows that.
Does Bruce knows it?
I'm not sure about Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm feeling better. I felt betrayed.
Yeah, maybe Jennifer doesn't know, to be honest. I feel like the people who know that maybe in Walewa I spend too much time with. Yeah, and also just people that was the first introduction I made. I had a phase where I was introducing to myself to everyone
as
with that
Angel.
name, yeah. So
now, is it in your birth certificate?
It is.
Angel.
It's my first name.
Okay,
the only one that's my own.
Okay.
Zingine za shosha.
Or Adi Winnie.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna use that in this, in the thumbnail.
Which one?
Angel.
Winnie Wanjiku. I love my show. She's an amazing woman.
I'm gonna add AKA Angel.
Okay, fine. Okay. So, yeah, I do not take criticism personally unless it is made personal. As in, you come up to me disrespectfully. But if someone comes up to me and they're like, hi, so there's this thing you said, and this and this and this and this, and this is why I don't like it, and yeah, this is how it made me feel. Like, oh, okay. Looking inward is such a powerful thing, right? Not all criticism is valid criticism, but all criticism should be considered. Right? If someone says, if it's presented respectfully, you're not gonna come up to me and say, you stupid, kwanza ni nani unaongelesha hivyo? But if someone comes up to you and they're respectful and they say something off about something you did or said, look inward. If you're involved in conflict with a stranger, a colleague, a friend, a family member, I feel like I'd still apply the same things. When you mesama, I'm very straightforward. Me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you, Zambia, so there's this and this and this and this. This is how it feels this way, and maybe this is how I feel that could have been handled better. Because unless someone is intentionally horrible to you, and maybe they hate you for real. Some people do be hating. That's so real. Oh my god. you can always talk to someone, and you can always talk to someone. There's so much power in just talking. They could just call me, well, somewhere. So I feel like during class, there's this thing you said about me, and it made me very uncomfortable. Now, maybe that was not your intention. I'd like to know what you meant by that. I'd like to know your intention. So with conflict making, I just go into conversation. Yeah, conversation is very, and when you get into a conversation with someone who is mature and willing to engage, oh, brain gasm, it's so refreshing. When you, if you meet people who are not mature enough to engage in good conversations and resolve conflict, what I do is I disengage because me sitabishana na wewe. As a matter of fact, we're not going to argue, throw words at one another. My time is very precious. If you're not going to do something constructive, I will not engage. Right? So me, I'll disengage. I'll either just shut up, or if I can exit, I will go. Yes. So that's only with people who I feel are either closed-minded or immature or just show up very unhealthily into conflict. It is not my business to make you healthy.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. That's another entirely different subject, but it is not your business to heal people, to make them healthy, right? Like, people are not blind to themselves. That's something I came to realize, right? So yeah, I like to show up into conflict, purity, an open mind, and again, it's not personal. It's us facing the problem. Yeah. You the problem.
The problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That is a dope approach, and I'm hoping that is something you can live with. Okay, and maybe my last question is, what role did you play in your family in terms of, like, were you a fixer, a rebel, or the golden girl?
Oh my God.
You are the golden girl. Aki, you are the
Oh
last born.
my
You are the
God.
last born.
No,
Or
I
the
am
first
the
born.
firstborn.
Okay.
Do you want to guess?
Yeah, you are the golden girl.
Okay, why do you think that?
Because there was a time I was talking to you, and the fact that you told me it's a conversation you had with your dad, and maybe he was just like giving you an advice on, maybe on, like, men. Yeah, so
He gives us all
it
advice
gives
on
you
men in relationships.
it's all.
All of us. Tunakalishwa hivi tunaambiwa. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no, relationship ni better term. Yeah, on relationship. And sitting that, like, yani ilinionyesha a certain form, ni kama he really cares. Unaona, like, most of my environment, care ilikuwa in terms of provided basic needs. Emotional needs, you'll get lucky. Anything beyond that,
You get lucky is wild.
yeah. So, like, to that extent, I would, for that reason, I would have considered you the golden girl.
Okay. I think I've played all those three roles that you've mentioned because the golden child, I think. But then what does that mean? No, maybe the definition I have in my head isn't the correct one or the one that you mean. But in my head, when you think about the golden child, it's the child who is, you know, you can put them on a frame and say, yeah. I think that because I'm the firstborn, that comes with its own pressures. Pressures, like there is always like a pressure to perform, meeting expectations. Yo, there's a lot that goes into being
The pace setter.
You see, so that has driven me to just want to set a very straight path for my siblings because I also feel like they look up to me, right? Actually, I don't feel they say it often and very clearly, so that's a weight on my back. I think that also my parents have very high expectations of me. They've always had high expectations of me, but not in the like toxic sense that oh, if you don't, sijui, there are consequences or what. No. Like in a supportive way, like you know you can do this. It still puts the pressure on you for real, but the expectations are there. So I've been the golden child, I've been the fixer where someone has conflict with this one, Shiko. Mom, nani amefanya nini? Shiko. They call me Shiko at home. Yeah, at home, both families Shiko
Wanjiku. Okay.
Shiko, oh, sijui, and feels a certain way about something, about something someone said. We're walking, going somewhere, so Shiko, this and this and this and this. So yeah, and I will talk to everyone about everything. So I've also been the fixer, but I feel like my sister mwenye amenifuata is now settling into that role.
For fixer.
Yeah, kukuwa mediator, fixer, listening to everyone, understanding everyone, being the one who's very regulated and cool and calm and collected, level-headed, and she's doing that so well. I'm so proud of her. Yeah, and the other one was
the fixer,
the rebel. I had a phase.
Oh, okay.
I had a phase. I had a rebellious phase. A very short-lived one because I have an overprotective dad. Amenipigia nikifika hapa, like umefika kwenye umefika vizuri. I'm like, yeah, nimefika. I'm okay. I'm safe. I am not walking into a serial killer's house. Yeah. So yeah, I had a rebellious phase, man, because yeah, my dad was in my business, and I felt like I was growing up. So I'm like, don't need to be all up in my business like that. I'm now growing up. I'm a grown woman and all that. So I've had all those phases. I've played all those roles. I think all my sisters peer have. I think we all just have. We don't like have a fixed role that is a hero. But if I was to lean towards one kabisa, I think it would be the golden child.
The golden child. Yeah. Okay. And like this, I assume this is, yeah, it's just on the context of the family. Now, which role do you now majorly play in maybe adulthood relationship?
Okay. Oh my God. I think that this also comes from my experience as a firstborn, right? I am taking care of things. I am thinking logically about things. I'm the level-headed one. I have to be composed. I'm the one to figure out complex situations. So, in my relationships with my friends, and maybe sometimes, not all the time, with a partner, I feel like I will take up the role of the person who is level-headed, calm, collected, objective when emotions are running high, untangling situations. Well, nimesema kwa partner si sana. Yeah, I've made that clear because there needs to be a balance. Yeah, and that is something I'm very, very aware about. So sitaki to show up as that in a partnership that would be very imbalanced, and it wouldn't be sustainable. So, but in my friendships, mostly in like professional environments, I have no problem being that. You know, like we have a hard situation. Cool, you have your emotions, feel your emotions. Let me handle the logical part of this. Let me structure things that need to be structured. Let me do this and this and this and that. You know, in professional settings, if there is chaos or I'm taking care of things, and I have no problem doing that. So I'm taking care of things. I'm gonna take care of it. Yeah, that's a statement. I'm gonna take care of it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that, Winnie.
Yes.
Yeah, for some reasons we are gonna wind up from there.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to have our second episode. It will be a continuation of, there is still a lot to be covered. Yeah, and so we do have a culture whereby a guest leaves. Let me bring the question.
Okay.
Yeah. A guest leaves a question for the next guest. So our last guest was Miss Yati, who happens to be our friend.
Wow.
Yeah. And she left a question for you. And feel free.
Wow. Oh my God. This question is something. So the question that Miss Yati left for me was, if any, what is your, meaning my, radical belief about love? I must set that over there for a minute. Yeah. What is my radical belief about love? Hmm. So we've been hearing a lot. I'm gonna say two radical beliefs about love.
Okay.
We've been hearing a lot about living, walking away, living, walking away, oh, your value and all that stuff. You know what's been going on in the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, not to dispute entirely all those things, because honestly, there is good information out there that actually informs people on what needs to be done to not stay stuck in toxic situations. But I believe that love should be able to show up even when it's inconvenient. That's the kind of love that endures the test of time. Because I think time is the biggest test for love, to be honest. And this is something that, again, goes back to my parents. These guys have been in love since 1994 to date. And so you cannot only love a person when it is convenient. Love should always stand the test of inconvenient moments and periods, right? Because your love that lasts isn't gonna be at a smooth sailing all through, right? Now, this is not to say that one should compromise on the things that are needs of the core to them, or things that make them feel continuously and constantly neglected, or just, again, toxicity, toxic situations. But if it's issues that revolve around the growth of your partner, and again, I say choose partners who are intentional about growth. But if it's issues around the growth of your partners, them evolving, them having to maybe, you know, find enmeshment with you, and you also finding being at a place where you're malleable to try and measure yourself with them when it comes to matters of growth, matters I don't know, situational convenience and inconvenience. Love should stand the test of inconvenience. So love cannot always be convenient, and you should be able to choose the person you love, and even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's inconvenient. Right? Right? There is a very thin, blurry line, hapo, between knowing when it's just inconvenience and when this is actually not a healthy thing, it's not working. But I feel like that's a subject for another day. But again, I go back to that. Love should stand the test of inconvenience. Yes, that's one.
Okay.
My second radical belief about love is something that, again, I've had been propagated on the internet, and this is why I'm saying it's radical. Right? It wouldn't be radical if everyone is on board with it.
Yeah.
Is that you can only have one or the other of stability and safety and calmness and softness, or fire and passion and desire and adventure. You can only have one or the other, and one is deemed as sustainable and safe and it's gonna last, and the other one is like, this is just fire, it's gonna burn out after some time. I think that you can have both those things and have a thriving, beautiful relationship with someone you're compatible with. Keyword compatible, and please no one dare misuse that word, because I feel like people would misuse that word, right? So I am a passionate person. I believe in passion. I believe in, you know, right?
What is
I will leave that open to interpretation.
okay.
But no, guys, it's not sexual innuendo. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's passion, desire, drive, meaning those things that come off as very fiery, and I'll still show up as very steady, dependable, soft and tender, nurturing. Those are things that I know that my partner would experience with me. And just because I have this side that is very, I'm using doesn't mean that they're not gonna have a home in me, a place where they can just kick back and lay back and, yeah, you can have both, man. You can have both. You don't have to settle for one to be happy. That's a radical belief of mine. But if you're a person who values this more than this, let no one shame you for it. Go for that. Go for that stability, safety, soft, relaxed, mundane love. Good, right? If you're a person who values passion and adventure and meaning, let no one make you believe that that you can't have something sustainable like that. Sure, maybe a little more intention will have to go into this side, but I believe in a balance of the two. Like, let's have both, man. Let's have the best of both worlds. You know? Yeah, let's have spontaneity and passion here, and let's also have stability and relaxation and calm here. That's a radical belief I have about love.
That is profound, and Miss Yati, wherever you are,
Thank you for that question.
thank you for that, and you must you must hear this one out. And wow, that was powerful. Yeah.
It's been such a pleasure being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an immense pleasure and an honor. Thank you, Zambia, for hosting me.
Yeah.
And I hope that the audience enjoys the discussion we've had.
Yeah. Me being the audience also, I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm looking for many more of this. Yeah. And thank you, our dear viewer, for your never-ending support. You're part of the reason we keep on doing what we are doing. Bye. Bye.